It's a real odd couple in terms of wars that have been fought, like, between the two sides. I think my favorite is probably the War of Heavenly Horses, which is fought between 104 BC and 101 BC. It pitted the Han Chinese Empire against the Da Yuan. Who were the Da Yuan? They lived in what's called the Fergana Valley of Central Asia, which is now part of Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, and Uzbekistan. But the Da Yuan are actually descendants of Greek colonists from Alexander the Great's time, who conquered the region in 329 BC. So when he dies, he splits up his entire empire and it goes to these people called the Diadochi, which means the 12 in Greek. They're like his closest generals. And so this area becomes the Seleucid kingdom. Eventually just falls apart anyway. The name Da Yuan comes from a translation of a translation. So Da means great, right, in Chinese, and then Yuan refers to Greek. But why is that? Why don't they just say Greek? Well, they learned about Greek people probably from Persian people, and Persian people called them Yunan. And that refers to the Ionian coast, which is like the west coast of Turkey, where Greek people have been living since ancient times, all the way until really until the end of the First World War. So anyway, these like random Greek people are just like living in Central Asia, opening diners, eating gyro, making wine, and slowly adapting their religion to like the local Buddhist traditions. So meanwhile, in China, 140 BC, the Han Chinese can't stop getting raided by these people called the Xiongnu, who were coming from the north of China. The emperor is this guy named Wu. He's had enough. He sends his buddy Zhang Qian west to make an alliance with another group called the Yuji. And on his way, this guy even gets captured by the Xiongnu, and he's enslaved for like 13 years. He gets married while being a slave. He has a son, and then eventually, him and his whole family and like his buddies like escape, and they keep going to find these Yuji people to make this alliance because that's what the emperor wanted. So he gets there finally after all this, and the Yuji aren't even interested. They're just like, nah, kind of like pass. So he just hangs out for a year and kind of gets the vibes of the neighborhood, and that's where he learns about the Da Yuan and their really sick horses. Then he just goes back home to China. Emperor Wu asks him, "Yeah, did you make the alliance?" "Nah, they weren't really feeling it." "Did you get anything? You're gone for like, I don't know, 20 years. Bro, look at this. Dude, sick, right?" The Emperor Wu then tries to buy the horses like 10 times. Granted, it's a really long journey, so that probably takes another 20 years. And every time they go, the Da Yuan are like, "No, we don't want to sell the horses." And the guys are like, "We have all this stuff." And they're like, "We already have all that stuff. We don't have more horses, so we'd rather just keep them. Unless you want to give us like way too much money." Eventually they get a fight, probably because they've been there 10 effing times. They spent their whole career just trying to buy horses for this stupid emperor. The envoys get killed, and then eventually the Emperor Wu finds out about that, and he is pissed.